Welcome to Nostalgia Pilots, a mobile jet fighter G Gundam podcast that will defeat all and become super podcast. I'm Hugh.
I'm Jurd.
I'm Jason.
And I am the undefeated of the East. No, wait, I'm Spence. Sorry.
No, it's the undefeated of the East, West, North, and South.
I was abbreviating it for time.
No.
Unlike someone else.
No.
Who
You
has
have
no idea about scheduling time and advertisements and things like that. I never go on tangents.
never look.
Without permission.
It's like a Tribe Called Quest. Just say the whole thing.
Anyway,
God.
we're here to discuss Mobile Fighter G Gundam episode 25. All fighters gathered. The final battles begin, and it's a clip show.
Yeah, all previous footage gathered. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves in the clip show, but when Domans comes up, I was like, you dicks. I was so pissed about their approach for his clip show moment, but before we get into the way that they skimped on the budget for this, I just did want to touch on some of the opening bits that I thought were nice. Like the drop ships with the tall ship, that whole section with the art, I like that, even if it was a lot of stills being dragged across the screen. But it was still lovely in a lot of places.
Hey,
That's old school animation tricks right there.
Oh yeah, pan and scan, baby. But no, I will say this. I think Chibity still has the best entrance. Like he's out here. He's like a WWE wrestler. Like he's cutting promos. He's shirtless. He's got his ladies. Like Chibity understands the mission, right? Like he's just not boring.
No, yeah, it's annoying.
He's there to, they're basically having the Olympic opening ceremonies of clip shows.
Okay, so we get introduced to Prime Minister Wong of Neo Hong Kong, who is
certainly not evil.
Yeah.
Now that he's invited all of these tournaments to his death island, Hong Kong.
Although he is pretty chill because he immediately is like, yes, I'm the president of everything and I control all of outer space. So let's party.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't sit on a throne that kind of looks like the maw of a dragon or something. No, not at all.
Dude, I love his casual attire where he's got the overcoat just draped over his shoulders like he's a dictator of a third world country, and the aviators, like I like his swag. He's got some drip there.
So yeah, they replayed all of their favorite moments, not our favorite moments, but their favorite moments, such as Chibity saying that he's going to be the undefeated of the world and or some champion of the world. And then you have Saisaichi come in and he's just like, yeah, bro, I'm here to win. Something like that. But we do get to see some of the opponents that Domon has fought before, which made me excited. Like Canada's Gundam.
Yeah, we're really enough on that I'm not entirely convinced, is the Canadian Gundam evil? Which of these Gundams? We know there's evil Gundams amongst them. And
well, it's definitely we definitely see the British guy and the Italian guy who are explicitly evil Gundams.
I like that they were Gundam toughs. Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I forgot about the Beefeater Gundam and the giant hat with the rifle.
There's been
I blocked it out.
There's been so much use of laser ribbons and things that I was like, oh yeah, they can just have a gun. I kind of forgot about that part. Anyway, I did. So we get the breakdown of each of the suits, but we also get the breakdown of it's the clips cover their motivation and the abilities of their Gundams. Those are kind of the two aspects that we get. And so there's some kind of neat sequences there. It's all footage we've seen before, but it's fun to have it all slam bam together.
But it is framed by this reporter who's in a helicopter. And
oh yes.
She's very fun if nothing else. Because she's like, and here's this person!
Hey, and I will give them mad props. They give names to all these techniques, like all the things that we had seen but not really had a name for. Like we get names of like the dual dragon attack, the flags. They even give Argo's flail a name. It's the graviton hammer.
Yeah, so I wonder if she was reading directly out of the Super Nintendo fighting game instruction booklet.
Yes, she was actually reading out of the strategy guide for this era's Super Robot Wars.
And the whole Gundam fatality can be executed through forward, up, left. So I just wanted to note, though, that we run through this list, and it's kind of the same structure for each of them. But okay, it acts as I didn't go and look, but I assume this is like the first episode of season 2, right? Because like this is just reminding us everything.
Essentially, yeah.
Basically, yeah.
So then we get to Doman, but of course the last thing that's happened to Doman is that his suit got blown up. So he's like, instead of, hey, here's my suit and what it can do, it becomes like, remember my ex-girlfriend Gundam? Let's talk about that for a while. And it's just about the old, because they needed to use the footage and they needed to fill the time, so it's just about the Shining Gundam. And then I got a better suit. The end.
Yeah, but I do like
But also there's that tension with Rain. Can't forget that they highlighted the tension with Rain.
But we do get that awesome dramatic, I gotta carry my old Gundam like this was the Bodyguard and I was Kevin Costner.
But we do get that sweet new version of the theme when the God Gundam comes out, and it's like very horn heavy, like I thought like the Super Friends were gonna come out behind it.
I'm glad you mentioned the music, because at one point when they were showing the earlier suits and the different people fighting and whatnot, I was getting such 1986 Transformers. I thought Stan Bush was gonna pop out somewhere.
Yeah, especially with Chibity coming around. But yeah, well, that goes off the rails into GoBots Town pretty quickly, because then we end up with, and I'm just gonna rattle them off here because god dang it, Zeus Gundam, which is like a chariot Gundam. We've seen it before, I think, for a hot minute. Neo Nepal's Gundam, which is like,
it's the windmill. It's the Nether Gundam.
No, no. That's the Mandala one. Yeah. And
the Mandala one's the one that's a giant bell.
It's a giant bell, and it's got weird like 70s toy rubber arms. If you look at it, like, anyway, I don't even understand.
Yeah.
Then there's the Mermaid Gundam, which don't even get me started on these aquatic Gundams again. What are we even doing here? The Cobra
They're not
Gundam.
The cancer, they don't count.
Yeah. The Cobra Gundam, and then possibly the most racist Gundam we've encountered so far this show, the Zebra Gundam. Which makes me wonder, if the Zebra Gundam has black skin, does that mean all of the white Gundam skins are white people? Like, what is going on here? What?
No.
I don't understand.
I'm not touching
And then, to even compound things further, so it's wearing like a fairly racist, like, zebra skin look on the actual Gundam, and then there's like 2 heads on the shoulders, but we've got all these other Gundams. Does this Gundam actually transform into a zebra?
My problem is, if you're going to give Neo Kenya the Zebra Gundam, then they should have 2 Gundams, because right now Master Asia has 2. He has 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has a horse and a like, what?
And I will just say this: we have not seen it yet, but me and Hugh know what's piloting that horse Gundam. It's an actual horse. So is there a zebra in that Gundam?
Okay, so that's actually what I was gonna say. There's redemption. If there's an actual zebra in that Gundam, and the guy who is actually from Neo Kenya is like, I'm just send the zebra. I'm just chilling back at home this year. Forget it.
Like, I don't even think we see the pilot in like the Zebra Gundam.
No, we just see them coming in. But I will say, I guess the good thing is the racism doesn't stop at just the Zebra Gundam. Because can we talk about the Netherlands and their Nether Gundam, which is just a windmill?
Well, they call it a hurricane.
Yeah, because it has an attack where it spins its windmill blades at you and it fires wind.
Which is hilarious.
Dude,
because
all it needs is like a millstone and flour coming out of its ass and like tulip bits instead of rose bits and maybe some ale coming out so it can like douse the other, and then it would be like quintessential Dutch.
I hate to be that guy,
Stuff.
but the Nether Gundam should clearly just be really stoned and missing all of its competition. So
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't stop there, because we have Neo Spain's Matador Gundam, which is just a
The Toro
bullhead.
Gundam.
the laziest McDonald's toy of Gundam available amongst collection.
Like,
Oh,
oh
man.
god. Like,
Okay.
it is...
If we could segue just briefly out of the racism, I wanted to touch on the weirdly sexy moment between the Canadian and Russian Gundams. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yes!
Oh,
yes!
oh yeah.
I want to talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
that too.
There was some tension there I was not expecting.
I was like, is this the foes to lovers, the enemies to lovers trope? Because if it is, I'm here for it. Like their foreheads almost touch.
Two
You know-
men,
My heart.
two cold men finding warmth within each other. I think that's pretty beautiful.
You know,
And one murdered the other's family. It's great.
yeah, you know, the Canadian prairie, Siberia, outer space, they're all very cold.
Yeah.
Listen, all I'm saying is maple syrup has never been so interesting than what it'll be used for with Mr. Argolgolsky. The best part is he sneakily comes out of the water. Like, he comes out of the water behind Neo Russia's Gundam, and then Argo, like he psychically knew he was there, just casually looks over his shoulder and says, "So you've come to face me, huh?" And I'm like, are y'all flirting right now? Are y'all proclaiming your love for each other right now? Like, and all I needed to finish it off was for his imprisoner lady to be like, "Don't mix business with pleasure, Bond. I mean, Argo." Oh god, it's so good. Like,
But that's not the only, like, almost overtly sexual portion. The other one comes from Master Asia when he tells Domon to come.
bro, listen.
But what he's doing is summoning him to do whatever this weird, strangely ad-libbed or choreographed dance is.
Okay, so we skimmed
didn't
skimmed
see
over this.
before, because they did it when they were like
First
when he met in Tokyo.
It did
but-
feel like them using the same footage over again, yes.
Yep.
Uh,
But the way this episode deals with the fact that Schwartz is also back, and we see Schwartz and we see Master Asia, despite having them die both on screen like 2 episodes ago. Master Asia's like, "What? Don't worry about it. Clearly I'm right here. It's fine."
Yes, it is
In
the
this
best.
show, the only real deaths happen off screen.
It's
The
like,
only-
no,
If they die on screen, they're still alive.
The only time I've seen death so impermanent was when, again, the 1986 Transformers movie kills Optimus Prime, and then when the TV
Hey,
show comes back,
it took
they're
a
like,
two-parter. It took a two-parter to bring Optimus back, all right? Don't talk shit about the resurrection of Optimus Prime.
"You mean
So-
Robot Jesus?"
I did. Okay, so before we move off to Master Asia here and onto his horse Gundam,
his beloved
just-
and powerful horse, Fun Psyche.
Fun Psyche, yes.
so there was a moment during Doman's little recap thing where he has now shifted to saying, "I'll win for Dad." Like his focus is now on his father, whereas I felt like up until or most of the first season, it was a lot of like, "I'll make you proud, Master," and now it's like, "I'm gonna win for Dad in his corpse or his coffin or whatever." So I did think that was an interesting shift.
He's mobile fighter dad issues.
Yes.
Well, yes, but it didn't. I was surprised the show didn't put a little more into setting up like a clear like master versus father, torn loyalties kind of situation, because that seems to be kind of where they're leading. But anyway, I did think it was an interesting shift, and now Dolan's got a different, motivation.
Yeah,
Well, the mask guy did show up right before Domon went out there and was like, remember, we're holding your dad hostage. Good job.
I'm not evil, but I'm holding your dad hostage. Like,
can't the guy just be a weird military officer in a mask in a Gundam series and not be evil?
No, not at all.
Wasn't it? I thought it was the short, dumpy guy that was making all the threats, and the guy with the mask is like, "Well done, Domon."
Yeah, that guy. Well, he's definitely being good cop right now, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, like, also, I'm still confused. Like, one of the things I love is the nefarious Bond-style plots, because what would make you think he believes you're gonna let his dad go? Or, like, you can save his dad? Like, for all we know, his dad is already dead, and he's just in, like, a futuristic ice coffin. And you gave this guy a giant robot that shoots Kamehameha waves out of its fingertips. If his dad isn't alive, what do you think's going to happen to you? Like, I've not seen an off switch. Like, I've not seen a kill switch for the Shining Gundam or the God Gundam now. Like,
well, that would at least be an explanation for why they waited so long in the last season to deploy the thing. So
yeah.
That would at least give them a structure around that.
Yeah, you can't say Rain is your, like, leash for Domon, because at this point, she's in some Stockholm syndrome with her. Like, he's negged her into submission. Like,
yeah.
And so now she's not going to betray him. And she's got the Sailor Moon Gundam tiara that allows her to pilot robots. Like, so, I mean, if you guys screw this dude over, you're in trouble. Like, he's a problem. Like, oh, man. Like, it's just so ridiculous and amazing. And I cannot wait for you all to see this robot piloted by a horse in spandex. Like,
we do get some pretty good looks at the robot horse. Like, it's definitely being showcased.
And Master Asia obviously stands on it like it's a platform, because that's
which I think is very rude to, like, Neo Grease's robot that also has a horse that they don't even really talk about.
Yeah. You know what, though? Again, why are the Shuffle Alliance guys the only ones that can't have two robots? Like, the Zeus Gundam has two robots. Master Asia has two robots. Like, I mean...
Well, I think they do point out that, like, Master Asia is clearly cheating. They're just like...
Yeah.
Someone's like, what is that bullshit? I killed those guys. I personally killed both of those guys. And that guy should be in prison. Yeah. What is going on here?
A bunch of dudes show up. Yes, exactly. A bunch of defeated dudes show up. And then they just decide to randomly change the rules, which I also thought was interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Wong is just like, now you can all kill each other, but I guess there's a slightly better title if you don't die?
Yeah, I wondered about that. What is Gundam of Gundam? Like, what was the previous title? Just champion, Tony of Gundams? I don't understand. The previous
title is clearly Undefeated of the East.
But, oh my god, I completely forgot this. Guys, when we were talking about Gundams, we completely forgot the literally shat upon Norse Gundam who had to paddle its way there.
Oh, yes. I was like, that poor bastard.
Yeah, we're not... Yeah. Some of these guys aren't going to make it out of the first round.
I feel like he flew commercial into, just outside the bay, and then he was like, fuck it, I'll paddle in. It's fine. It's like,
so since we're talking about the accessibility, I guess, or functionality of these Gundams, can we talk about the Cobra Gundam for a minute?
Uh-huh.
The Cobra Gundam's shaped like a cobra.
Uh-huh.
Moves like a cobra.
Moves like a cobra. There are very few ways that a human body could make those movements. So do they have some kind of anthropomorphic snake in there. That's
Do you want me to spoil it?
no.
Then
I'm
you'll
mostly
see.
talking to Jurd
Yeah,
because me and Jurd don't know.
I have questions. I have so many questions, right? Like, is there both a man and a horse in the Zeus Gundam? Is there a snake in the Cobra Gundam? What is in the Mer Gundam? Don't even tell me what's in the Mer Gundam. I don't want to know what's in the Mer Gundam.
It's that thing. It's that thing from Cabin in the Woods. Oh my gosh! Like, also, is again the Toros in the Neo Spain Matador Gundam. Like, is there a Minotaur in there? Like,
No, that one's just so
That one
lazy.
makes
Like,
a little more sense.
Oh.
that's
Yeah,
just
that's
a dude
just
with a
decorative,
sandwich
really.
sign. Yeah.
Oh god! Like can we get a mini series where it's just the naming stages for these Gundams, like when they're designing them? Like, I want to see the look on like
Dude,
the Prime Minister's face of like, all right,
It's a bunch of people in a room smoking pot going, so what do you think of when you think of the Netherlands?
Yeah, it's the Netherlands team designed all the other Gundams. That's the problem.
also
There we go.
the announcer lady is doing her best impersonation of old boy from Mario Kart, Lackey 2, the guy on the cloud, like. But they haven't briefed her on all the information because obviously Domon was the King of Hearts before this happened. Like, we knew him as the King of Hearts because Master Asia gave him that title, or he earned it somehow by not defeating the undefeated. It's fine. He got a new cool tattoo. But they say presumably or maybe the other guys have the Shuffle Alliance tattoos, and I'm like. So nobody told them, like, when we saw the Shuffle Alliance turn to stone, like, no one else saw that, like, no one else, there was no news about that, like.
What? Like, I you need to step back and think to yourself, this is like the A team being inserted into the NFL. Like, what is going on with the Shuffle Alliance versus the rest of these league regulations? Because I'm pretty sure that's not actually legit. You can't just be like, oh yeah, and also Iron Man. Like, he's also on our,
Yeah, our new running back is B.A. Baracus in the van.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I think we're pretty close to the end of the episode here, and it's been an awkward one, but I just wanted to take a step back and say, y'all want to watch it with that salute? Because I think you just all hailed Hitler at the end of this episode, and that made me a little bit uncomfortable.
Thank you. I am very uncomfortable with that.
Schwartzbruder, what have you done?
They're doing some weird kind of praying because I've also seen that in church.
Yes. Oh God. Like, it's just, whoo, Japan. Oh, Japan. Like, the things you will do for toys, Japan. Like, hot damn.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Oh, wow. I cackled this whole episode. Like, this whole episode was just ridiculous. And let's be honest, folks. It's having owned this series for some years, it's only gonna get crazier. Like, which is why I suggested this show from the jump, because it's just gonna get crazier. Like, we could have done Iron Blood Orphans. That's a more serious show. I mean, we could have even done Gundam 00, and that has people sniping people from space. But, like, no. When you turn Earth into the WWE and someone goes off the top turnbuckle to make it in time to a fight, and you have literally a Gundam that is a windmill, there's nothing in the Gundam universe that is crazier than G Gundam, and it's amazing.
Yes.
So that actually brings me to my favorite moment, because it was one of the flashback clips, but it was just a reminder of how ridiculous and amazing this show can be, which is Doman's flashback to him and Master Asia doing the fastball special. That whole sequence I will never stop laughing at Master Asia spinning and his head sticking out the front and like, oh my god.
Launch
And they're
me,
like,
Domon!
you know what was so good? Let's do this again. Let's show this twice. That's how proud of this we are.
Oh man, the feats of strength they show when they do these ridiculous things is so amazing. And they shot like Hadoukens at the end of their dance.
They did. They did.
They
light
literally
the
lit a
not
big
Olympic
flame
brazier.
with their fireballs from their fingers.
Yeah. Like, I'm just like, at this point, what can they not do? Like, what can these Gundams not do? Because at this point,
apparently.
But oh man, my favorite part is still Master Asia going through the title he will now assume, which is he will no longer be just the undefeated of the East. He will be the undefeated of the East, North, West, and South,
And center.
and become Super Asia. And I just, like, they could have picked anything else.
Yeah. Okay.
Like-
see that this is the weird thing for me because I live near a big college. I'm in a big college town, and like Super Asia is definitely the like Asian grocery store near my house where people buy Pocky and things.
Absolutely. It's the off-brand H-Mart. It's literally the off-brand H-Mart. It is the fresh market to Trader Joe's of departments of grocery stores. Like, oh, and he's so excited about it. Like, he gets like a huge, like, up in your face, like super sliding of the cell as he says it, and I'm just like, oh wow. Like, just wow. Oh man, it is.
It's the same naming committee as the rest of the Gundams. Like whoever got to those Mer Gundams got to Super Asia.
Well, okay, like the undefeated of the East has given himself like 3 titles over the years, and each one is worse than the last. Like, none of these are Master Asia's real name.
No.
Did Master Asia
He
do
gave
the
himself.
naming?
Yeah, because I actually earlier on when we started this, I looked up Master Asia's backstory, and he does have a backstory in the manga of this, and he has a real name. Like, he actually has a name.
It's funny you mention that because I saw a picture of young Master Asia and he looks ridiculous, but also nothing like himself.
No, not at all.
See the manga version, he's like in his 20s or something. And anyway, what about you, Spence? What was your
Kurosu.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'd probably go around calling myself Master Asia too.
I think for me, like, and this might sound like a bit of a cop-out, but I was really looking forward to this part of the episode where we all riff on what we just saw. Because, oh my god, if you watch this episode, do not watch it alone. Watch it with somebody so that you can have the best time.
Oh, it's
Yes.
Yeah. Like, for all those anime fans who say they don't like mech anime or whatever, like, this can make somebody like mech anime. Like, this is where we got the seeds for shows like Gurren Lagann. You know, like, this is the influence of people like Go Nagai when he made Getter Robo and Mazinger Z. Like, these ridiculous, like, I'm powered by the burning youth that I carry inside my blazing heart this is where it comes from. Like, this is that crack cocaine. Like, oh, gosh. Just...
But other than that, the tension. If I have to pick something from the show, the tension between the Grizzly Gundam and Argo.
Yeah.
Yes, Bolt Gundam. It was beautiful, and I loved it. And I really want them to be a couple now.
Are those two going to be the healthiest relationship in this show?
Probably.
Probably.
They're communicating. They're working out their differences. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if if Chibity and his girls were in a functioning poly relationship, I think they would take the title. But I feel like that hasn't got there yet because for some reason he's still hung up on Rain. I don't know why they gave that arc to Chibity. But they did, and it just takes away from the fact that Chibity's great. He's still my favorite. He's still absolutely my favorite because he's ridiculous and dumb.
My favorite bit was still the introduction of the totally not evil Prime Minister of Hong Kong, Wang Yun-fat, who is certainly not up to anything behind his dark glasses on his giant golden dragon throne.
Yeah, that's
It's fine.
Yeah.
Also, he changed all the rules. It's fine.
And by the way, it's okay if you murder each other now. It's good.
So do you think? So what do you think came out first, Mortal Kombat or this? Because I feel like Shang Tsung did the same thing in the Mortal Kombat movie. Well,
I think they're both just intensely riffing on Enter the Dragon. So.
Oh man, I wish the reveal for him had have been the big throne dragon head seat he was sitting in, rotating around, and he's petting a cat,
And also, this is the guillotine I keep for my cat that I'm not going to use, but maybe.
And Master Asia, who was quickly revealed, they didn't even give it any suspense.
No.
You as soon as you look over that dude's shoulder because he looks behind him, and there's Master Asia still alive and well, not looking drained of all of his vitality with white hair or nothing. He's just fine,
not on
fine.
Fire at all.
Yes, when Domon defeated him with his super-powered fart as he blasted off to go.
Him.
He gave him the Rikishi stink face. God, thank you, Gundam. Thank you so much. This was good.
So you can find all of our nonsense over at nostalgiapilots.com. Find everything I do over at HughJO'Donnell.com.
You can find everything I do over at Skinner.fm.
And you can find everything I do over at nerdsandvoices.com.
And you can find everything I do on my link tree, linktr.ee/Resonant Moon.
Join us next week when we watch G Gundam episode 26, where Domon's gonna fight one of those guys, apparently. And until then, you taught me so many lessons.
Come to me.